So the first W is when. What's really important here is to know when a job entered the job queue, when it left the job queue, when it started running, and when it ended. There are differences between the clock on your agent and the clock on your server, and it's important that you kind of track both sides of that so that you have the record of when things are going to be reacting to that, which would be kind of on the server side, and when commands actually ran, which is on the agent side. So the what is really how did the job go? Did it run to completion? Did it fail? We also want to see the commands that were executed. We want to see the values of any environment variables that you set or a path that you decided to set. And we also want to see the log files entirely and any output that was generated by your program. So where is important because you need to know, did this job run on one agent? Did it run on a whole bunch of agents? Or did it run on a particular agent in a load balanced group? The scheduler picks out the one that's the least busy and runs the job there. Why is a very important reason to understand. You need to know why a job kicked off. Whether it was a scheduled time, 2 o'clock on Tuesday that the job needed to run. Did it run in reaction to an event that you had already defined? Or was it kicked off by one of the users of your product? So who is actually a sub-reason of why? If the job is kicked off manually by a user, you want to know which user it was that kicked it off. All right, since we're done talking about the main part of history, let's talk about some extra credit features that a job scheduler should have to do a good job of presenting history. The first is like a restart recover feature. Job failures are going to happen, sometimes not because of the way jobs are designed or set up, but because of outages, systems being down, things like that. And you will need to, on occasion, kick off a job halfway through or some number of commands from the start so that you don't repeat things that are already completed. The second part is filtering. Lots of jobs equals lots of history. So it's nice to have ways of filtering your jobs down so you can look at smaller segments, the segments that are very important to you. One thing that I really like is being able to take a single job and then filter my job history just so I can see just that job, or have something like tags, kind of the things you would have on various websites that allow you to kind of quickly categorize and group things together. The third thing you need is a good set of retention rules. Different jobs essentially need different sets of rules. If a job is very high frequency, you're running it many times a day, you're probably going to want to keep less of that history, but if a job runs once a month, you might want to keep things across a longer period of time. So you kind of need two options. One is, I want to keep, say, 30 runs of this job, and the other option would be something like, I want to keep this job for 160 days. And the final piece is having good access to your job history through web services. This allows external apps to kind of kick off jobs inside of your scheduler and then be able to actually uniquely and accurately track the execution of those jobs. One thing to look for is that the jobs have unique identifiers on them so that you can tell you're still looking at the same instance of the job that you kicked off. Well, that's it for job history. I think I've given you just the facts, and we'll see you next time.